keeping pace with the rapid changes in India, it's more critical than ever, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, especially if you're focused on something as demanding as, say, the UPSC exams.
Exactly. Understanding these fundamental shifts, well, it's key. So today, we're taking a deep dive.
Into a pretty vital sector undergoing huge transformation, India's education system.
We've looked at recent reports, Times of India, Indian Express, and we're trying to distill the essential info you need.
Right. Our aim is really clarity, a concise understanding of these reforms, the drivers, the impact, without, overwhelming anyone.
Think of it as your focused analysis.
Exactly. A guide to the current educational landscape.
So our mission for this deep dive, pretty straightforward. We want to unpack these education reforms.
Look at the motivations behind them.
Examine the key actions, the interventions.
And really grasp the overarching vision for the future.
And for those of you preparing for UPSC, this is crucial. It's about connecting these educational shifts to India's broader development, its global standing.
Definitely. So where do we start? The foundational vision, perhaps. What's the core objective driving all this?
Well, our sources, they point to Prime Minister Modi's statement. A clear ambition. Modernize India's education for the 21st century.
Right. And it's not just tinkering around the edges, is it?
No, not at all. It's a concerted, government-led push, fundamentally reshaping education, aiming for international standards, building a knowledge economy.
And we saw that commitment recently, didn't we? That YUGM Innovation Conclave.
Precisely. The first one ever. It felt like a very public statement, reaffirming this priority, building an education system that's adaptable, inclusive, future-ready.
And the cornerstone of all this.
It has to be the new education policy, NEP 2020. That's the pillar.
The central goal being?
Equipping India's youth, giving them the skills, the innovative spirit, really, to make India a global innovation hub.
Okay, so that's the big picture. What about the driving forces? What are the sort of fundamental principles behind these big changes?
Well, the core belief, it seems, is that India's future rests on its youth, their capabilities.
Making them globally competitive is paramount.
Absolutely. And they've outlined this trinity guiding the strategy. Remember that. Talent, technology, and temperament.
Talent and technology, okay, those seem fairly clear. But temperament? That's interesting. What does that actually mean in this context?
Good question. It seems to point towards fostering qualities like adaptability, resilience, an inherent drive for innovation, problem solving.
So it's about the mindset, not just the knowledge or the tools.
Exactly. And the NEP 2020, introduced back then and constantly being refined, apparently, that's the bedrock. It's not rigid. It's framed as flexible.
The ultimate aim, then, is transforming everything: classrooms, research labs, the whole learning environment.
To be on par with the best globally. That's the stated goal.
Okay. Let's get into the specifics, then. The tangible steps. Where are we seeing key interventions and infrastructure development?
Right. A critical area is the National Curriculum Framework. And the school reforms tied to it.
Ah, yes, the new textbooks.
New textbooks, new teaching materials for classes 1 to 7 initially. But the big shift is the emphasis.
Gone.
Conceptual clarity, understanding the why, not just memorizing. Experiential learning, too, getting hands-on.
And multilingual education, which is vital for India's diversity.
Absolutely. Catering to all learners.
That move away from rote learning towards real understanding, that feels foundational for later innovation, doesn't it?
It does. Then looking at higher education.
What's happening there? More capacity.
Definitely a commitment to increasing seats, enhancing capacity in premier institutions like the IITs.
Okay.
And we're also seeing new specialized courses, these EdTech courses, partnering with places like AIMS.
Bridging the gap between academia and industry needs, like biomedical engineering, AI, and healthcare.
Precisely. Making graduates more industry-ready in these high-growth fields.
It makes sense. And all of this needs a strong digital backbone, I imagine.
Oh, massively. The digital education infrastructure push is huge. PM eVidya, the Diksha platform.
The goal is one nation, one digital education infrastructure, right?
That's the phrase they're using. Imagine a single, robust digital framework for the whole country.
And the content creation aspect.
Impressive scope. Content in over 30 Indian languages, plus 7 foreign languages.
Wow. That's huge for accessibility and equity, breaking down language and economic barriers.
Definitely. It addresses that diversity we mentioned.
Okay, so schools, higher ed, digital. What about research and innovation? fostering that culture.
Yeah, another really dynamic area, big expansion in research infrastructure.
Like the research parks.
Exactly. Operational parks tripled since 2014, from 3 to 9, with 13 more planned. Plus, nearly 6,000 higher education institutions now have dedicated R&D cells.
So embedding research more deeply into academia.
That's the idea. Foster a research-driven mindset.
And that proposed National Research Foundation, the ANRF, what's its role meant to be?
The Edison National Research Foundation. It's envisioned as the main driver for cutting-edge frontier research, strategically funding and promoting high-impact work.
Fueling innovation.
Yes, and this is backed by money, too. Gross expenditure on R&D, the GERD, apparently doubled from 60,000 crore in 2013-14 to 1.25 lakh crore more recently.
That's a significant jump. It signals that shift away from just rote learning towards discovery, towards inquiry.
It certainly does. But, research is one thing. Getting it out of the lab is another.
The classic lab-to-market challenge. What's being done there?
They're actively trying to shorten that gap, encouraging partnerships, public-private academic collaborations.
PPP models, essentially.
Right, and really trying to catalyze youth-led innovation, making university campuses into hubs for transformative ideas, maybe even startups.
Nurturing that whole ecosystem from idea to product makes sense. India's also looking outwards more, isn't it? Global engagement.
Absolutely. Big emphasis on global engagement, academic mobility.
We're seeing Indian institutions opening campuses abroad.
We are. IIT Delhi in Abu Dhabi, IIT Madras in Tanzania, IIM plans for Dubai, apparently. It's about projecting India's academic strength.
And the reverse. Foreign universities coming here.
Yes, invitations are out to top global universities to set up shop in India. The idea is to enhance that cross-border flow of knowledge, people, ideas.
That two-way street could really enrich the system. What about accessing existing global knowledge, like research papers?
Ah, the One Nation, One Subscription initiative. That tackles this directly.
How does that work?
The goal is to give Indian students, researchers, seamless access to top international journals without the usual institutional paywalls or subscription barriers.
Democratizing access, basically.
Pretty much, making cutting-edge research available more widely, fostering continuous learning.
That could be a game changer for researchers outside the top institutions. Okay, one more big area, AI, artificial intelligence.
Right. It aligns with the bigger India AI mission. There's a clear strategic focus on bringing AI into education.
How so? Just theory or actual investment?
No, real investment in AI-powered educational infrastructure. The goals are quite broad.
Such as?
Things like administrative efficiency in schools and colleges, personalized learning paths for students, even predicting skill gaps.
And transforming teaching itself.
Yes, transforming pedagogy across all levels, using AI as a tool to enhance teaching and learning.
Fascinating. Okay, so pulling all this together, for our listeners, especially those deep in UPSC prep, what are the absolute key takeaways from this deep dive?
Okay, first, grasp the sheer scale and ambition here. This isn't minor tweaking. It's a strategic overhaul of the entire system, primary to research.
And NEP 2020 is the guiding star, the framework, but it's likely to keep evolving.
Exactly. Don't see it as set in stone. Also, see the connections. How school reforms feed into higher ed readiness, how digital supports everything, how global links fit in.
All interconnected.
Right. For UPSC prep, understanding these drivers, the interventions, the long-term vision, it provides crucial context. It touches everything from social development to S&T.
And it's very much a current topic. Relevant for mains, obviously, but aspects could easily pop up in prelims, too.
Definitely. It also highlights, the need to keep learning, stay informed. These are ongoing reforms.
Their full impact will unfold over years. Understanding the foundations helps analyze future developments.
So maybe the final thought for you, the listener, to ponder is this. As India pushes to become this global innovation hub, how will these huge educational shifts actually shape the next generation of leaders, of problem solvers?
And thinking specifically as a UPSC aspirant, what role might you play in that unfolding future?
It's a big question. If you found this deep dive useful for your preparation, please do hit like, subscribe. It helps us keep bringing you these analyses.
And if you have more questions or specific areas you want us to explore, drop a comment below. We do read them.
Remember, our discussion today drew from reports in places like the Indian Express and the Times of India. Definitely worth checking those out for more detail.